this meeting to order. This is the absentee ballot review. Excuse me, this is the absentee ballot review meeting for the Dare County Board of Elections. Today is Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. And I'd like you all, if you would, to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance as we start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. And welcome, everyone who's here. Good to see you. We're going to start. We don't have any old business that I'm aware of, unless anybody on the board has anything. The next item is new business, and the first item there is the approval of our minutes of last Tuesday. I trust everyone had a chance to look at that. And if we have, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes, please.
Motion to approve.
Okay, it's been moved to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of last Tuesday. Is there any discussion or any questions? No? Okay. All right. All those in favor of approving the minutes for October 1st, our first absentee ballot review meeting, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right, the minutes are approved. Under chairman's remarks, I just have one thing to report in to everyone. Last Wednesday, we attended, Kelly and Rebecca and I and two of our chief judges attended a meeting with the emergency operations group, which looked to me like it included all of the county department heads. Yeah, and our county manager, Bobby Outen, and the sheriff's department, and in terms of election security. And the short version of the report is we were closing gaps and tying up loose ends so that our voters and our precinct officials and our staff will all be safe in the precincts, and we'll also all be covered for other eventualities like natural disasters and things like that. We also covered chain of custody of our ballots as they move from the precincts to our office to begin, getting the results into our computer systems and passed along. So it was a very productive meeting, I thought, and we covered everything from doors needing to be put in to, like I said, the other items that that needed to be covered and tightened up. And I feel real confident about what got done in that room. Everybody was very committed to the mission, and everybody took off with specific actions to take. So that's really the only thing I wanted to make sure you guys knew about. And it certainly is germane to what we have in front of us this year and very timely. So, Kelly, do you want to add anything to that, to any of that? Okay. All right. So that's, go ahead.
If I could make one comment, I read this morning that all 100 counties have an election office that's operational now, and that the state board has been meeting to come up with emergency measures to deal with the various problems that people will have in Western North Carolina. I want to congratulate the state staff and leadership for that achievement, and the people in Western North Carolina who had to have been involved in making that happen, that there are offices to be open.
Yeah, they have a lot to do in regards to that too. They have to work with the post office to try to figure out how to move absentee ballots. They have to check to see how many precincts, precinct locations that they still have left. And I don't know what they do when they have some that are knocked out, or if in the case of a town like Chimney Rock, where the town is virtually gone, if they, create another precinct somewhere nearby for that, or if they combine precincts. But I'm sure the state is working that out. And yeah, they've done a terrific job in terms of communicating with all the counties affected. And there are something like 34 counties maybe who've been affected up through the western part of the state from the southern border to the north. Really impressive. So anyway,
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
The state board actually passed a resolution concerning, I believe it's 13 counties that actually were dramatically affected in terms of their physical
buildings and whatnot.
facilities and assets associated with carrying out the election.
Mhm.
So if anybody's interested, I believe they can go out to the State Board of Elections website off of
Mhm.
the North Carolina government website, and they'd be able to find that resolution. It's pretty comprehensive in its
Yeah.
coverage.
Yeah, they did a good job. Everybody can be proud of that, of what they've done and how they've stood up for the voters in our state. Everything I've seen has been just stellar and remarkable, and how they've stood shoulder to shoulder on that. So that's, that we have a lot to be proud of in this state in terms of how we put our.
One other matter of new business, I believe. I have noted that there's been some defacing and destruction of private property along the roadside associated with signage
Mhm.
for candidates. And I'd just like to remind all of Dare County citizens that I think we're better than, civil disorder and just, the criminal destruction of private property. And I would offer that all voters, all citizens of Dare County, try to do better in terms of carrying on civil discourse during this election season. So that's it. That's all I have.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. And I've always, my own personal filter for all of this. And we had a time with a Board of Education referendum that came up in 1997 where people were talking about secession, and, it got pretty chippy around here. And in my personal filter for all of this in our community is to remember that, these are our neighbors, and these are people, many of them we've known and trusted for years. And then the bottom line is, what kind of community would you want to raise your children in? And what kind of, behavior do you want to role model for your children and for them to carry on to their children? That, you're absolutely right, John. Thank you for that. It's very timely. I appreciate it so much. Anyone else have anything? Okay. All right. So the next item is the main show. This is the absentee ballot review and scanning. This is our second absentee ballot review. And with that said, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Kelly, our director.
So we have 118 ballots that were received by mail and 17 overseas and military that were duplicated by our bipartisan team. So I'm going to let you review the 118 first, if that is what you guys would like to do. And then we can start scanning those while you are reviewing the ones that are duplicated. So I'll pass those out to you now.
All right. Do you all want to divide up the way we did last time? Was that
just going to ask that.
Was that okay? Okay, so we'll do that. And if anybody needs a break, I think the only ones I can give a break to are the Democrats on the board, because otherwise we wouldn't have bipartisan pairs. So sorry about that, but anyway, that's how we're set up. So.
So, Mr. Chairman, I do want to make you aware that one of these 118 was an absentee ballot that was returned with an exception form. So there's no special motion or anything that has to be done, but you do have to approve this with the form as well. So that's going to be included in this group.
That's included in the whole batch, right?
Right. And
Okay.
we have 3 that staff recommends for, 4 that staff recommends for disapproval. So you can look at those as well afterwards. And we can go over the reasons. Are y'all in the teams that you want to be
Yeah,
in?
yeah.
Oh, sure.
All right, and just for the record, and for any of the public who are watching, these absentee ballot review meetings are open to the public, but are not meetings where we have public comment. So we'll ask everyone who is here and anyone who plans to come in the future to understand that the extent of an absentee ballot review meeting for you is that you can be in the room and observe everything that goes on. You can't be looking at the ballots, and you can't, there's no place for public comment in this type of meeting. And of course, this is all according to North Carolina general statutes.
No, you didn't miss it. Carol is either a bad time manager, overworked, or just old. And I just sent you an email recommending somebody. Because I didn't do that either until 2 seconds ago. Because you guys have closed session today, right?
We don't really have anything to discuss today. We'll do it next week.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to make sure, I want to make sure that.
I was talking about Michelle's thing.
Okay.
Okay, I just sent you the email. I forgot. I'm just really behind, Kelly. I know, and I realized I didn't do my data request, and I went, I'm not gonna do it. You don't need it, I don't need it. I got the party changes, I can get that.
Yeah, we'll do that. That gives me time to clear
Okay. Lou, I talked to Bev Samuels yesterday. No, no. This is her last rodeo, she says, but. Yeah, but that's, I crossed that bridge in 2 years, though. Yeah, she's gonna work. But when I thought you guys were closed, I thought you guys were in closed session today, and I went, I didn't do that recommendation.
We'll take care of it.
Okay, but I did send it to you.
Good, good,
Okay.
good, then everything will be run next week.
Okay.
And hoping that we can do it all at one time. I know, I almost wonder if I should reel in the thing that opened
The.
I don't even know where it is.
Yeah.
It's in a closet or
Next-
something.
Probably next time, because you're just gonna go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it's in the closet someplace.
Yes, yep. We're gonna try to keep that. They've kind of agreed to do it. So,
He is such a better, so we were
No,
talking.
that's fine, yeah,
We
we
were
were just like, it's
just
just
liked it so much better than
Yeah.
everybody looking at it.
they still have to review,
Yeah.
you know, so they're all getting looked at, just not necessarily by every single person.
No, that's
So,
a good thing.
yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure it was Randy and
Oh.
Randy and John and Rick and
Randy.
Tracy.
Yes.
That's different than last week.
I think it is.
Yeah, that is different.
Yeah, because they switch.
Because last week
Because
it was
Randy
and
Randy
Rick
went down
and-
there.
You're right.
That's right.
Because I even asked, are you here?
John, or someone went down there.
So
Okay.
that's why I wondered, because they were sitting.
No, it's not the same.
Good catch. Good catch.
Now the new guys are experts, so they can.
Yeah.
do it again.
Right,
Yeah,
so
they've
now
done it
it's
once.
really gonna be Randy and
Oh.
John.
Yeah,
That's why they switched
Right,
last
because they
week,
put a
because of
new
the
one.
expertise.
yes.
Yeah, but I wondered, because I was like, all right, are they sitting in the same teams or not?
Well, and everybody's eyes kind of tend to go to different things, so it might be good in general just to
Just
mix
to
up.
switch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Especially with 3 recommended disapprovals, that's unusual. 4, that's unusual.
Everyone is witness.
Yeah.
Everyone is undeniable too.
Isn't that cure though? Can't you cure it?
Not a witness. no.
Oh, okay.
Because, and it's interesting to me that the voters aren't reading the envelope, and it says that the witness or the notary watched me complete my ballot and sign the ballot. And so there's no way to cure that because it's done. The completing of the ballot is done, the signing of the envelope is done. So the only way to cure it. Right, so out of the 4, 3 of them requested to just not have a reissue, and they would vote in person, and 1 didn't. So they've already been reissued, a new ballot's on the way.
Excellent.
And we do a letter, unofficial letter on letterhead regardless, and I attach those for the board to see, so that it's all documented. Correct. So it's on the envelope, but then there's a 4-page
Instructions that goes with it.
What does that cost to mail?
$2.04 a packet.
Per packet? Wow.
And we sent 1,300 or so, give or take. I think we're in the 1,300s. That might be actually a little less because I keep forgetting that the overseas are emailed, so they don't cost.
That's 4. She said her mom got her absentee ballot. I don't know the packet, I don't know the layout. Someplace where you put counties. And I don't know if it's on the container envelope or she said something was missing on the packet. Not that it would affect the ballot information on the outside where you put the county or something.
We got it down to the old envelopes.
Oh, that's, okay, then that's what it is, yep. Again,
Because she hadn't ordered any.
nothing that was legally detrimental.
She hadn't ordered any, and so we were waiting to that.
She also said that she's waiting to hear from you about supplies. Did you reach out to her?
She popped in, and
Okay.
I just, I don't know.
She popped in recently. I saw her at the League Forum, I can't remember. And my days are running together. She don't ask me what day it was. Oh, I was surprised she was in town.
That's interesting that she would tell you to not call me.
I said the same thing.
I will let the board know while you guys are working that yesterday we had a lady come in to register. She was 104. So she registered. She came in to register. Yes, she had her daughter with her, but she did come in and she was very excited and happy to be able to register and vote in Dare County. So we were excited for her. Yeah.
Has everybody seen that one? So, the witness, all of them were here and they were present. Because one of them it's like a husband, wife, and child, and another child. And, he started filling out the wrong portion. So, and that's what they said, witness 2 filled in the wrong box. And so they had a third witness fill that in, their daughter who was there and also witnessed, but they weren't gonna use her, but since she was there, he made the mistake. And so it didn't invalidate the envelope because he just put it in the wrong place. And they could have had him move up, but they were worried about that, so they just added her as well. Yeah, it's just because I think, I don't know if it's in the file, but he got it right on the second. But, yeah.
Okay, the one on top is the one I asked Kelly. Okay. She said it's okay. She says it's okay. It's okay.
Same thing goes for federal identification card, it expires as long as it's 65. On a federal ID, not a driver's license, as long as they were 65 when it expired.
Yes, the expiration, right.
Yeah, because it expired last month, but they.
Well, so it can be expired less than a year regardless of age.
Okay. Gotcha. And then also, she's on X, but she had help, voter assistance.
Right, so they're allowed to make their mark, if they're unable to write a full signature. And so, and that's good that we can see that there was assistance there,
Okay.
so chances are she has some difficulty.
Right, okay.
So that is accepted, yes.
I have a VA ID, so just.
Judy Carter.
That's correct, and there is a. he gives to us for each week. Yeah. Yes, of course.
Kelly,
Yes.
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Two questions. Are you finding a number of ballots that need to be cured?
We've not.
We've not had any ballots returned that qualified for a cure, meaning that we send them a letter and they come in and sign the document, or they return the document signed, or they come and provide their photo ID, for instance, and then the packet is accepted. What we do have is 4 absentee ballots that were returned that could not be cured because of the witness information being absent. So there are some instances where the ballot can be cured and the board can approve that and then it can be counted. And there's some where it can't and it must be spoiled and reissued. And so those are 4 that we'll go over after you're done with this process. And so we send them, we make contact. We always try by phone to make contact, and I was able to contact all of the voters by phone. And then we also send them a letter and just sort of reiterating what we spoke about and what the decision was as far as staff goes. And then also the board will review each one of them and make that final determination as well. But we have, they're all in a pending status now, waiting for your disapproval, but that is our recommendation based off of state guidance. What's lacking can't be cured. It has to be redone.
Okay, but they would have the opportunity to redo that.
Yes, and they all do. And we had them, but we'll talk about what their comments were and what we wrote as well.
The other question is, any sense of how long it is taking ballots to arrive here? Can you tell from?
No, we've had people call, and they received it within 4 or 5 days of our send date. And then we had someone who received it, I think, I don't know, 12 or 13 days.
So my wife has received hers.
Right. We've had 2 people getting a ballot to the same address. One received it and the other didn't. So it's just across the board. And they were mailed out at the same time. So across the board, there's just no way to tell. One thing that's disappointing is that Manio USPS has 1 truck that leaves at 7 in the morning. And our mail carrier for Dare County, who posts and takes our mail, doesn't leave the office to go to the post office till 9 o'clock. So even if we send ballots with her at 9 o'clock in the morning, they're not going out till the next day. So we have, I've been working with the postmaster at Manio to meet me at 6:30 or 6:45 with the ballots so that we can get them on the truck. So if we do them that night, they're secured in the office. I'll come here, pick them up, chain of custody. I take them straight to the post office. So that they can get on the truck that day to help the voters, especially with the fact that they were supposed to be mailed out September 6th, and then we couldn't even mail them out till the 24th. And so they lost, over 2 weeks. So we've been trying to fill that gap as best we can with that. But, unfortunately, the postal services is just difficult to track.
Kelly, thanks for what you're doing on that and to
Yeah.
keep pushing everything forward. We really appreciate that on behalf of our voters.
Yeah, that's been a concern in many
Y'all are
parts of the
still
country,
going, right?
not just here. And I
Excellent.
know a lot of our mail goes to Richmond,
Right, yeah.
where it can
Maybe
be,
everything does.
yeah.
Either Richmond or somewhere else, but it goes way off and then comes back in. So what happens to it in between, we can only hope.
No one knows. Thank you.
Y'all are done.
You want to bless these, Father?
license expired in 2019. And she's over 65. But can they, I'm just asking a question, so they can just hold on to this one and continue to use an expired in 2019 as long as they're over 65?
Right, and that's what this,
Yeah.
excuse me, so, we are encouraging people that call, if they're able to come to our office and they would like to get a free photo ID card, we do encourage them to do that, so that, they have at least another option.
Okay.
But also at our precincts and early voting site, every check-in station will have one of these documents that allows them to have the quick guide in case they are encountered by someone who has an expired ID. So here it tells, it
Oh,
gives
I see.
a good reference
Yeah, I
of
didn't even look on the back. Okay,
of all of the
I gotcha.
acceptable IDs, and then also here, so you can look at her birth date
Yeah.
and then see the expiration year
Yeah,
and
that's
see
great.
that it's in compliance.
Yeah, okay.
It saves a lot of mistakes.
It does.
That roll back on you.
Right.
I know.
I think Manio used to have an afternoon truck to leave with mail, but it doesn't anymore. And the one that goes so early. So it's really pushed back the time.
And Kelly, I got a couple here that, actually a couple, husband and wife, it looks like. Their license has one address, and yet the county board approval sticker on the back is a different address.
So the photo identification rule says that we are looking for a substantially similar name. And then for mail-in ballots, since we can't get a reasonable resemblance to the voter because they're not standing in front of us, that it is a clear picture. And then also we are checking expiration. We do not look at addresses on the ID,
Okay.
or we don't compare them to the registration.
Kelly, you'll need a separate motion on this group of ballots, so you can start to tabulate them while we review the next one. Okay.
Yes, that would be probably most efficient, then we could get started.
Okay. No, I just wanted to make
I think
sure.
we did that last week and it worked out
Yeah.
pretty good.
That's fine.
It's 17, so if you wanted to take a few extra minutes and look at those, that's your pleasure. Whatever works best.
So we're going to let the board also begin looking at the 17 military and overseas that were duplicated by the bipartisan team.
the concern. Not a good system. Did you guys go check the public count yet?
I'm sorry,
Did you go check the public count?
I can see it from here.
Okay, I can almost read it, but I can't. I'm waiting for it. I keep saying I have cataract surgery. I don't have a cataract at my age. Right. That's what my husband says.
I'm gonna get back.
Oh, you are.
We're on top. I get like a 300.
I have
But it's really nice, I got a prescription.
Good. Okay, I can almost read it, but I can't. Okay.
Didn't you just? Why can't I go up and
I just do it, I mean, it's just something I do, but I didn't know if Kelly said come up and check to you guys while I was out, did she?
No.
Okay. I think they moved on to your product.
Yeah, maybe that's what trouble, right. No, they have not passed. They're only 17. Right. Yeah. So I thought, I thought I heard them say we're done with that, so we have votes. But I have not heard a motion. No.
Quick question
Yes.
on the transcribed ballot. For the write-in, if the oval is filled in on the one that the voter sent in, but nothing, they left the write-in blank, then it doesn't matter whether that oval is filled in on the actual ballot, the one that you've transcribed. Is that correct?
I would think that it needs to match exactly. the
Okay,
ballot.
well, this one does not.
Okay, then, we will have to have the team redo that.
Okay.
And then we'll, unless the board wants to make a decision on that,
The, on the write-in.
The write-in on
Yeah.
this?
Mhm.
Oh, wait a minute. Where is it?
Soil and water is on the other side.
It won't affect anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's
I'm
here.
sorry. Okay, yeah. The oval's blank there, but the voter actually marked it. So it's not exactly the same. That's,
Well,
It won't affect anything,
No.
but that's up to you whether or not we can take this one off of the report and have it duplicated exactly again, and then just push to the
do we
next
need to do it
meeting.
that way, or can we do it in here? Because we have a bipartisan team administering it right now.
I mean, I would
What are you
think
comfortable doing? Whatever
for
that
this
is, we're
one,
fine.
because there's not even a write-in to write in, it's a circle that's insignificant. I think that the board could do that.
Yeah,
Because,
it's crystal clear.
yeah, and it
Don't you
doesn't,
agree?
Yes.
John?
and it doesn't affect anything because they
Mhm.
circled it in, but they didn't write anything.
We did this before with a municipal,
Yes,
Remember?
so I think
similar.
it could be colored in and everyone agree with it and take a
Yes.
look at it,
Yeah.
and then you can move forward.
All right, now, John,
Mm-hmm.
this is the one that the voter turned in,
yes.
and this is the one that the team.
The-
Mhm.
All right, so let me show them while you've got it in your hands.
Okay.
Randy, you've seen this, right?
I don't
I
believe
have
it.
not, but I've heard the description. and I
All right,
would
so
agree
you
with it.
understand what's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
issue here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I'll hold the other pieces if you
Thank you.
want. Get them out of there.
Here's the clip.
So why, they just go with the oval on the bipartisan?
This is the one the voter turned in.
But the bipartisan team should be able to complete that oval. And it affects them, because they did it, they set a precedent last week.
Now there's.
So we're making no sense. I'm not gonna make any sense.
All it would be is just a law.
Yeah.
Just to duplicate it back.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I think that,
you guys are
yeah, I
okay
think
with
that's
that?
fine. There's no need.
That's my knowledge. You're now, yeah, so it's
Storm, how storms have affected the county in the past. I told them I was the chair when we had it, but most of our elections on it. So you have these. Okay. I told them what I would do, because I could talk to them about our.
They need to go to emergency management because they have a wealth of knowledge of what happened. And I think that the times that elections was affected was with former directors. And then they could offer guidance of what they did to help them. If there was anything that needed response,
emergency management would have been involved. So they would have an idea of what they
To
did.
talk it through.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because they could say what they did. I don't know of anything that changed.
Yeah.
So I could offer nothing.
They-
But he would, like if they had to move a site or bring in a pump or a generator, he would know that.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's the one I would suggest. that
Okay.
go to.
Okay, that's what I'll do. That sounds good. That's practical.
Who's the other pieces of that?
Who's gonna, are you just gonna go ahead and fill that out? That one,
I think your
Circle.
team could do it. One of you,
oh, okay.
if you want to, and then,
I'll delegate to the gentleman who found it.
and are y'all done with?
They're finished, so we can make a motion.
Okay. So, have you already looked at these?
I have, he has not.
Okay. Were there some that have been looked at between both of you?
No, no, we just is split. Are we,
Ready
Are
to
they
make
all
a
done?
motion?
Mr. Chairman, the first group of absentee ballots is been completely reviewed. Staff needs a motion from us to proceed.
Yes, and what's the count on that? 101?
118.
All right.
So that's not including the 17
Yeah,
here?
we're still doing those.
Okay, all right, so then you guys can go ahead and get started.
Yeah.
All right. So we've completed the review of 118 absentee, civilian and military absentee ballots. Our bipartisan teams have just reviewed those ballots, and I'd like to have a motion to approve the ballots if we have no issues, which I'm not aware of any. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the ballots.
Thank you,
I'll
Trish.
second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved to approve the 118 ballots, including overseas ballots that have just been reviewed. Are there any questions or any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, it's unanimous. Those ballots are approved, and so you can start scanning. Thank you, Kelly.
Yes. So the machine has been turned on. If you want to come look at the public count, it should match what the public count was last Tuesday.
What was that public count?
63. I'm gonna have open some too. Don't forget to.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Is this another one?
No, that's the one that.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I filled
I'll
out.
pass it.
Okay.
You guys have already seen it, right?
Yeah, I just
Probably
showed
all
it
we
to
need.
Randy.
It's the same as what we've already been doing.
Okay.
You all need to see that. It's probably not-
All right.
Kill your light. I don't see. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That one's included in this.
Is this included in?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so this is okay.
Yeah, so they can start looking at it.
smoothness to it. Sometimes I go too fast. Whoops. I'll make sure you don't. Failed it as soon as it's on. Yes, if it's not over a selection. it should. Yeah, we just have to be careful there, because like, yeah. Okay, it's easier for me to get.
Okay,
I can have one of them.
I understand.
Takes longer. So,
So I didn't add I forgot that I had to mark that one with the with the exemption form. I had to mark it pending. So I have to go back in the office and run another report that adds that to it. So it actually makes the count 119. So if you guys will just make a motion to approve that one ballot. So 118 is still fine. Just make a motion to approve the one that had the exemption form. And then that will, and I was going to ask you to make it, put that in the minutes anyway, because I get records requests for how many photo ID exemption forms we have. So it'll be a good way to keep up with that. So when Skip gets back, if we could just make a motion to approve the one with the photo ID. You already approved it, but, or you don't really have to make a motion, but I guess you do, because you approved it, but you didn't add it in the count. So you don't have to have a motion, but either a motion or a statement, whatever, because now it was 118, but it's actually 119. So you either need to correct the original motion or just make a motion to approve that one, and that will balance out the count. And it's the one with the photo ID exemption form, so it might be better to keep that separate anyway. You already approved it. So if you want to make a motion, and then that'll balance out.
For the provisional, right?
For the photo ID,
Yeah.
the one with the exemption
Right,
form.
right.
I haven't seen that.
What's that?
I haven't seen that.
You haven't?
Oh, I thought y'all passed it around.
Yeah, but, well,
No,
sorry about
no, that did not.
Did not.
Sorry.
She held it up at
It's
one
in
point,
here.
but I don't think she passed it around.
Well, she-
I stuck it back in there.
Yeah, I think.
What he did is he said.
Probably
he
the very
couldn't
last one.
get The photo ID because of work or
His
school.
very
It was
last
on
one.
on the page. It was one of the choices. And he put the last four digits of his, social security number on there as he was supposed to. He did everything he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it was notarized.
Yeah, but I think-
let's see.
Just leave it out, let you look at it. And I guess just pass it down there.
I've seen it.
Yeah, just pass it down to them.
That's why.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's why we went forward with it.
Oh, wow.
Because of bipartisan.
Oh, and what are we, chopped liver? I want that on the record.
Good with it? Very. Thank you so much.
All right, so that just so anyone watching understands what we're doing, we just looked at a absentee ballot that had a photo ID exception form attached to it. There was no photo ID submitted. And all the criteria for accepting an absentee ballot was present, and as well as the exception form. It was all filled out properly with the proper signature and the four numbers of the person's social security number. So everyone up here has reviewed that now and was not approved in our batch of 118 ballots. So I'd like to have a motion to approve the ballot with the photo ID exception.
I move that we approve that,
All right.
that ballot.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the absentee ballot carrying the photo ID exception form. Is there any further discussion? No. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right. That ballot is approved. Thank you.
So Lisa's official. So I have to I'll run a report.
So at the end of this meeting, before you leave, I'll run a report that has everything that's been approved, that's on it, with the correct count that matches the PC, so that you can sign that.
All that stuff. The only thing not is the pending. And I couldn't approve it until they did.
You can do it.
Okay, wait.
Mr. Chairman, do you want to have part of the board get started on the four that were disapproved by staff. And it's pretty cut and dry. The letter is attached, so you can read to see what we told the voter. But in 3 instances, the voter requested not to have a ballot reissued and that they were going to vote in person. One did want a ballot reissued, and it was. And so that information is written on the envelope, and then you can also see the letter that we mailed, but all the ballots were spoiled. And every one of them was due to witness information not being provided at all. So it wasn't missing a portion, it was completely not written in, overlooked. Yeah. So we have a voter signature, but no witness or notary at all.
Is this for information or do we need a motion on this?
You should disapprove these 4 ballots.
Okay, all right.
And everyone should look at them. So would the board like to make a motion on these?
Yes, I was just going to ask you, are you all ready for that now?
We're ready.
All righty. All right, the board has just reviewed 17 military and civilian absentee ballots, overseas ballots. And I'd like a motion to approve those ballots.
I move approval of the 17 ballots reviewed by the board.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the 17 military and civilian absentee ballots that we've just reviewed.
Military overseas.
Military overseas, thank you. Words matter. Is there any other discussion or any questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, those ballots are approved and they can be scanned now. That's obvious.
total public count is 199. So that would include the 115 civilian, the 3 military, and the 1 civilian with the photo ID exemption, and the 17 military and overseas that were duplicated, added to the 63 prior from the week before,
199.
199. And I'm going to run a report that will be included in the minutes that will reflect that total, and then for you to sign as well.
Thank you, Rick. That was 3 ballots, wasn't it? 4, okay. All right, so the board has just reviewed 4 ballots that were recommended for disapproval by the staff for various reasons. I'd like them,
All for witness.
all for witness and signature. Yeah. All right. I'd like a motion to disapprove the ballots.
Make a motion to disapprove the 4 ballots.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to disapprove the 4 ballots as recommended by staff. Is there any other discussion or any other questions regarding those ballots? Okay, all those in favor of disapproval, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ballots are disapproved. Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome to come up and look before we shut it down. So I'm just going to power down the tabulator. I'm not closing the polls. Power it down. It's supposed to print tape. When you call Pam, let her know that we're supposed to. No, you have to switch board. Okay.
Mr. Chair, I have a question concerning same-day registration and ballot. So if a voter arrives at the polling location and does same-day registration, my understanding is that voter is able to cast a ballot, correct? Now, the ballot
Early voting,
is
right?
during early voting. Now, the ballot itself, how is that handled? Is that is not considered a provisional, or is it? Okay, so how, the ballot is set aside, is actually scanned in? And then within 2 days, our office is to validate or verify the registration?
Correct. Well, we process the registration and mail the.
We process the voter registration and mail the verification card.
Okay, if there's a problem with registration,
The ballot's retrievable.
it is retrievable.
Yes.
Okay.
All
Question.
ballots that are voted during the absentee period are retrievable ballots.
I was unaware of that.
Yes, and that is why, and there is some misinformation that I've seen out there on social media, and the state has put out
Is that it?
like a press release
Uh-huh.
talking about writing on the ballot. I actually just sent that out to all of the poll workers on Sunday so
Okay.
that they would be aware leading up to early voting that it does not invalidate your ballot when a worker writes on it. Actually, it is part of the process
Mhm.
for ballots that are voted during the absentee period, during the early voting period. They are retrievable. So that isn't it. So it has something identifiable that in the event that that verification card comes back undeliverable, then we can retrieve the ballot and then we can move forward with a process with the board to make a decision on that.
Okay. But with respect to the handling of the ballot itself, there's no set aside or, special bin or compartment that particular ballot would go into. It goes in with all the other
Yes,
ballots cast during early voting.
correct.
Mhm.
You good?
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right. Does anyone have any other questions or other business? Kelly, you're
Just,
okay?
we can just remind everyone that the deadline to register is October 11th. So they can also take care of their registration prior to, but if not, then of course they have that option to register and vote the same day. And there is documentation that is required during, that process. Whereas when you vote with a registration form, you provide the information, but when you vote same day registration, you have to show a document. So, we do go through some steps, but the deadline to register is October 11th.
Yeah, and one other reminder to anyone who needs it, early voting begins October 17th, and that's in a mere 9 days. So we're moving along here, and it's a good time and convenient time to vote if you can. If you have a job and you're really busy, it's a really good outlet for you to be able to get your vote in. Our next meeting will be next Tuesday at 3 p.m. at the same time, and we'll have another absentee ballot review meeting. And thank you all for being here today with us. And I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for coming.